God, please help me to hate. I read these words by a seminary professor and I wondered, who could it possibly be that would follow this sentence to make it appropriate for Christians? Who should Christians hate? Hey, I'm Josh, and this is Understanding the Bible, a channel that's all about helping you understand what the Bible says and what it means and how you can apply it to your life. And today we're going to be looking at what I wouldn't think would be a hot button question, but apparently in 2021 is, and that is, who should Christians hate? So we're going to be going to the New Testament, we're going to look at the words of Jesus, and then we're going to see how the Christian church actually applied those words. How did they interpret them? So let's go ahead and jump over to Matthew chapter 5. So this is Sermon on the Mount. There's various teaching here. He starts with the Beatitudes and blessings, and then he talks about being disciples. So what it means to live as his followers, as the followers of Jesus. And he's really contrasting. My voice sounded funny. He's really contrasting the difference between the world, how it's like kind of the ordinary way of doing things, which even many religious people would do, and his followers, right? What it means to be a follower of Jesus, a Christian. This is the first kind of hint here. He's talking about murder, and how Jesus says that you've heard it said that you shall not murder. But he goes a step further. But I say to you that everyone who is angry with his brothers shall be answerable, right? So he's saying that just our heart condition of anger, right? That is the core of the matter. So let's keep going on down because we want to be more specific, right? So we're kind of scrolling through these just to give a little context. But here are Jesus' words. So he's going to be talking about hatred and love and who it's okay to hate. You have heard it was said that you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. All right, so this is not actually a teaching of the Old Testament, but this is the way the world generally thinks, right? Those who you are close to, those who you care about, those who are part of your group, your tribe, these are the people that you need to treat well. But the other people, right? The people who are different, the people who are outsiders, the people who mistreat you, the people who have a bad past. These people you can treat however you want. You can mistreat them. You can return their evil with evil, right? I remember when I was a kid and we would get in trouble. And what was our answer? He started it. So, we're innocent because he did something bad, so I can do whatever bad thing I need to as a response. Love your neighbor, love those who are close to you, love those who are part of your group, and hate those who mistreat you. So that's what the world says. But what does Jesus say? But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. If we are to love our enemies, who is it okay to hate? No one. Absolutely no one. And why is that? Jesus goes on to tell us, and he outlines that because everybody, good or bad, with Christ or without Christ, they all are going to do the worldly principle of loving when it's easy and hating when that's the natural response. But that's not how God is. God sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. This here is a picture that God shares his kindness, his goodness, his mercy, and his love to the undeserving. And that if we're going to be followers of Jesus, that we're called to follow this principle of loving everyone, of hating no one. So is Jesus just speaking in hyperbole here? Is he just speaking some exaggerated, unlivable thing? Or did his followers actually believe that he was being serious? Did his disciples, the ones who he was teaching, who are here for this Sermon on the Mount, did they believe that Jesus meant it? Did they believe that this was the standard that we're really trying to follow? Let's take a look later in the New Testament at the letter of 1 John to see how Jesus' followers actually interpreted this passage. The one who says that he is in the light and yet hates his brother or sister is in the darkness until now. It's saying the same thing that Jesus said, that the person who hates is outside of the light of Christ, that they're in the darkness of the world, a darkness of sin. They're in a state exactly opposite of who God calls us to be. The one who loves his brother and sister remains in the light, and there is nothing in him to cause stumbling. Of course not, because love is of God, and the one who is loving is doing what God would have us do. Then he's going to reiterate. He wants to be super clear on this point. But the one who hates his brother or sister is in the darkness and walks in the darkness and does not know where he is going because darkness has blinded his eyes. Who is it okay for a Christian to hate? No one. When is it okay for a Christian to hate? Never. So there you go. That is the answer to the hot button question. Who is it okay for Christians to hate? And I hope that we can not just hear it, but we can live it out. Sometimes the Bible's hard to understand. It's unclear what it means, but this is not one of those times. The challenge is not knowing on what the Bible says or what it means. The challenge is to live out the words that Christ has for us.